a little field trip all the way to Texas City, which feels like it's the same community. I grew up here, and I'm excited to be in Texas City today. We're also going to be joined by a guest. I got Kenshara Cravens here in studio. Kenshara, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm thankful that you're here today.
No, thank you for having me.
So I wanted to ask, you have a foundation. Can you let everybody know what's the name of that foundation? And then we're going to dive in, find some information about you.
Sure. My foundation is called Craving for Change Foundation. We are a nonprofit 501c here. Our office is actually right here on Palmer, right across the street from Whataburger. We kind of have a two-part fold. We help the youth with transition and assistance. Particularly age 14 to 20 is kind of my prime age I like to work with. And we help them as far as finding colleges, applying for colleges, career exploration. I have the aptitude test program, and they can come take that, kind of learn a little bit about what matches their personality. And then on the flip side, I also help the senior citizens. I've been a licensed social worker for 5 years, specifically in the medical field. So I wanted to incorporate that some type of way. Countless times I ran into seniors who just didn't know what their insurance covered and just some of those basic things. So we do healthcare literacy programs for them, and then I try to individualize it to whatever the needs of the person is. So some people we've actually helped them like complete their applications, help them enroll, and all that good stuff.
So let's find out some information about you.
Sure.
Where are you originally from?
I am from Lamarck, Texas, born and raised.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit about this earlier, and you said you may be surprised where I'm from. And then that got my wheels turned. I was like, man, I was going to say maybe from Galveston County, but so you got me. So from Lamarck, right?
Yeah, from Lamarck.
Okay, what class are you?
2011.
Okay, 2011. I hear a lot of talk sometimes when it comes to these graduating classes, specifically at the Lamarck High School.
Yes.
Who was the best graduating class?
I mean, I definitely would say us, of course. The only jealousy that I have is 2010 got to wear the all gold uniforms because they're one of the millennial years. But I mean, I definitely would say us. So we've had, our class was the first class that went to state in basketball ever, and I was actually a manager at that time. So it was kind of epic to experience that as a senior. But
yeah.
So
growing up in Lamarck, I guess what did you see, and did you feel that's why you needed to start a foundation?
Absolutely. In school particularly, of course we talked about college and kind of what happens after there, but we didn't have a lot of guidance as to how to get there. So actually the foundation started from my scholarship. I started giving a scholarship to Lamarck in 2017, and some of the kids that I would work with to give the scholarship to, they still hadn't applied for colleges or did their FAFSA, just like different things. It was like, wait a minute, and you're planning to go off to college? So that kind of is what tipped me off. So definitely being from Lamarck, and then for me, I was the first gen. My parents didn't go to school. My mom's a barber. My dad has been working in a refinery since he was 18. So they didn't know how to guide me through that process. So for me, it was important that, of course, with me being a social worker, we, was a given, want to give back. So it was important that I did something for my community to make sure that I'm giving back in a non-monetary way. So yes, being from Lamarck and not having a lot of resources in Lamarck definitely is what made me want to start the foundation.
So what year did you start it?
2019 is when I actually filed my business filings, and then April of this year is when I actually got my tax status. So at the beginning of COVID is when I got everything kind of lined up, and it kind of was a hassle because, of course, COVID kind of ended all of my fundraising plans and things like that to just kind of pub and get the foundation out there. But thankfully, I've met some really great foundations in the interim that has kind of introduced me to different other organizations and things like that. But yes, COVID, it was not my friend.
Yeah, I'll say that it's a lot of work to start a business, filing the paperwork, doing everything. And it's also a different level whenever it's a nonprofit organization. It takes a lot. I mean, how long did that process take? And you probably know a lot more now where if somebody had questions, I can help you, right?
Definitely. I would say I started the idea really like a year after I started my scholarship, so in 18. And I actually had a company that did my business filings for me, so that kind of made it a little bit seamless, but it was like double the price if I would have did it on my own, of course. But it didn't take long. Once I submitted my payment, within like a month, I had everything. And then I did my tax status myself. Now that was a hassle because it's a lot of pages, but
Yeah.
surprisingly, I got my status back within like 5 weeks. So it didn't take a long time, but I will say it's a lot of little things that you find out. Like even after I had my business filings and the 501c status, it was still other things I had to get. I still had to get a certificate for sales tax to get exempt from that, because I thought that just if I had the federal exemption, that was it. I still had to apply for that. It was just a lot of little things that came up, and I was like, man, I didn't know all of this. And I'm really still figuring out things because I wanted to do a mailing campaign, and it's a certificate you have to get from USPS to do that. So, I mean, it's so many things that I'm finding out along the process. But I would say it wasn't bad. I definitely bought a few books that were kind of helpful in aiding, but it still didn't include everything that I needed to know.
So 2020, we talked about COVID. It's kind of made everybody's plans, specifically nonprofits. From what we've seen, they've had to cancel fundraising events, and that's how they raise money to be able to help their cause, right?
Exactly.
So what did Craving for a Change do during this year to try and make that positive difference?
So thankfully, I actually had a fundraiser. I think it was September 19th, and I was able to keep it. It was big enough, the space, to where we were spaced out. It was a paint and sip event. And we did like a silent auction. We had a DJ. It was a whole extravaganza. So I was still able to put that on. Of course, it wasn't as big as I wanted it to be, but we still were able to raise money for the foundation. And thankfully, family and friends have been great as far as donating, because right now I'm kind of a one-man show. I'm helping the kids, I'm pubbing by myself. Of course, I have my board members, they help as they can, but it's really my baby right now because we're so small and new. And the other thing to kind of tip back up to what we talked about earlier, I've been running into is when you're applying for grants, they want to see numbers. And because we can't work with the kids or anybody at the capacity we want to right now, it's been kind of hard to secure that grant funding as well. So I've just been applying and you know, reaching out to different people in the community, just trying to get whatever support I can.
Yesterday I heard there was an event. There was an event the City of Lamarck Library put on, and you were at it. So what was that, and how did it go?
So it was a trick-or-treat Halloween thing for the kids. It was different vendors that set up out there. Mostly, of course, we were giving out candy. I think some people had like worksheets they gave out, but we gave out candy. And it was nice. The kids definitely had their best dress on. It was a whole dinosaur out there. But it was nice. I've been really just trying to get into things like that too, you know, just so people can get a name to the face.
Did you dress up?
I did not. I kind of had something like this on.
Yeah. If you were to dress up, what would you be?
So I actually have a costume. It's I'm gonna be a referee this year.
There you go.
Cheap. I was like, yeah, let's do this. It was like $20.
And then if you want to ref on the side, you're already set to go.
Exactly, I'm ready.
Good to go. So are you a basketball fan? If you were, I figure if you were on that with that team in 2011
I'm
with
really
State.
not a big sports fan at all, really. That my best friend at the time, she was doing it. I was like, okay, well, I'll just do it with you.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm not a big sports fan really at all.
Okay, I got you. That's cool. Unless it's the Cougars.
Well, you know, it's kind of hard to be a Cougar fan right now.
Oh man. Hey, this is Gardy with KHEA Radio. We're broadcasting live from the Doyle Center in Texas City. I'm talking to Kenshara Cravens with Craving for a Change Foundation from Lamarck, Texas, doing some really cool things. So we talked about the younger kids and why you kind of started the foundation. There's a whole other side to what you do. Can you share, I guess, why did you start and doing that side as well?
Yes, I love the geriatric population. My first job was actually working for a hospice agency, and most of them were older people, of course, but not everyone on hospice is older. And it was just a lot of discrepancies I saw with the companies as far as educating the clients properly on what services they could really have. So I also had along the way, I had a home health job, And I would get referrals all the time for simple things that in my head, I was like, why doesn't the people know this already? So I wanted to kind of, as my own person outside of a company, be able to give the community the education that they need in order to be able to benefit from the services that they're already qualified for and receive. So that was kind of what started for me, just kind of working in the field and seeing how our senior population wasn't treated the way that they should be.
Healthcare is confusing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It definitely is. And so, but it is from the outside, but when you break it down, it's not. And so that was also kind of a tipper for it. It's like, if you actually put it in layman's terms and not this jibber jabber, people can understand it and they can know, you know, what this means and how they can access it. And so that's kind of been my baby as well, because like I said, I love the geriatric population.
If somebody has questions or they want to reach out to you for that, how do they do that?
So you can just send me an email, text me, call me. My email is info@Craving for a Change Foundation, and then my business number is 832-735-0077. So they can call me, text me, write me on Facebook, whatever. I'm pretty accessible.
Easy to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So what are your plans, I guess, for the rest of the year with Craving for a Change?
So we have partnered up with another foundation. I don't know if you've heard of them before, Kembrell Foundation. So I've partnered up with Miss Tanya, and we are actually doing an event next month, and then in December, we're doing like a big end of the year event for the seniors. She's gonna be bringing like care packages, and then I have in some of my nurse friends are gonna come do blood pressure checks. This is gonna be for our geriatrics. They're gonna do blood pressure checks. We're gonna have a DJ out there. We're gonna feed them, have drinks, games. So that'll be December 12th at the Art of Coffee in Lamarck from 11:30 to 1:30. So we're gonna be doing that. And I haven't decided 100%, but I'm thinking about doing like maybe a 10-15 minute Medicare session or something like that. Something simple and sweet while we have the seniors there. I know she already has about 50, so we're expecting a pretty nice turnout for that.
Have you been to the Art of Coffee before?
I have. I love it. I love their smoothies.
I was going to ask you what you get.
I get the strawberry smoothie.
Strawberry smoothie?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've had the strawberry, I think I got a strawberry banana smoothie, and I always feel like I shouldn't be ordering that. I'm just like, give me some espresso straight or some coffee black, but I'm like, can I get the large strawberry smoothie? And just like looking around, and there's probably something, it's so good.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what they put in it, but I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I like whenever new businesses like that come to Lamarck, take a look at Lamarck. The revitalization that they're doing in that Renaissance district is what they call it. I grew up in Lamarck and I didn't even know, that was a thing, but it's really cool to see these businesses like Benito's been there for 50 years, and then right there, hey, a brand new businesses and a redone strip, and hopefully some other stuff coming in as well.
Yeah, it's really nice in there. I love the whole atmosphere of Art of Coffee. It's really nice in there.
What do you think Lamarck needs? That's kind of an open question.
It is. I definitely, with the whole Renaissance thing that they're doing, I think that's great. I think a lot of people who go off to school, they stay off because they get used to that city feel. And Lamarck, and being honest, it doesn't really feel like a city. You don't have the big mall and the big buildings. So I think what they're trying to do definitely is what Lamarck needs, a makeover.
Yeah, with that Renaissance district, that's what they're trying to do, because I guess that's the west part of Lamarck. There's a lot of open land to be developed, and you see like Delaney Cove and Sawgrass Crossing and this development coming down I-45, but there's still that other part, the Renaissance, the downtown, Lamarck button up to Texas City, over by Highway 3, that can use some love and some businesses and some revitalization as well. So you see that coming in, hopefully it'll keep expanding, and some Lamarck people who did go off maybe will come back and start that business or invest in the community.
Exactly. I hope so.
Yes.
We need it.
Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to share about Craving for a Change, or anything else at all?
I would just say, if you have any youth or senior citizens that need my assistance, everything is 100% free. So feel free to reach out to me on any platform that you may have available to you that I'm also on. Like I said, I gave my email and phone number. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Craving for a Change. I'm trying to think, what else do we have coming up? We have 2 sessions coming up in November. What we've been doing, because of COVID, we offer up to 10 people can come to our office space, and then the rest can join us hybridly on Zoom. And so for the youth, we're doing a session, how to go to college debt free. We have a lady by the name of Gwen Richardson who wrote a book about how she put her kids through school debt free. So she's gonna come talk, and then on the 19th, we're gonna be doing open enrollment assistance for our geriatric population, since open enrollment opens on the 1st. So we're gonna be helping with that. But other than that, I don't have anything else unless you have any more questions for me.
My question is, how do you go to college debt free? I wish I'd have known that some time ago, because then I could have took advantage of it.
It's so many resources. I've been just finding out, just helping the youth. Like, it's an app called Raise Me, and what that app does is you start it when you're a freshman, and you put in like honor rolls, any activities that you get on, and from there you get points. Whatever school you decide to go to, those points equal up to money. And that school, if you are approved for that school, they have to pay you that money to go to that school. And I'm like, why didn't I know about this?
That's
or why
cool.
was this not available? I mean, it's just been a plethora of things I've just found out along the way. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have knew that.
Yeah, the resources that are out there, when I find out about them, I'm like, that's cool. Was that there? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was, but we just didn't know. But I feel like today, with the internet and social media, and it's easier to connect with somebody on the other side of the world than it's ever been.
Exactly.
You know, we got to take advantage and at least spread the news, so that way our people can go to school debt free and not have student loans, and have options on things that they want to do and need to do. So, well, thank you for joining, and also thank you for being flexible on the time and coming out here to the Doyle Center in Texas City. And finding us because this is a big building.
It is.
It's like you said, hey, I'm in the meeting room. I was like, I have no idea where the meeting room is. We were finishing getting set up and testing the microphones, and I was like, I guess I'm going to go find the media room. But you found us.
Yes. Well, thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This is Gardy with KHEA Radio. This is Craving for a Change Foundation. Make sure that you reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to go back and update the information on our social media posts, so that way you can get in contact as well. Y'all be blessed.